Chosen one, pause for a moment. Before anything else, before the noise of the world pulls your attention away from what you are about to hear, you need to understand this truth. You were meant to arrive here at this exact moment. Not by accident, not by coincidence, but by alignment. Something within you already sensed it. Something deeper than logic brought you here. Because after the new moon on June 16th, a shift is coming that will not wait for anyone to catch up. It will not slow down, it will not explain itself, and it will not repeat its opportunity. And before we step deeper into this activation, there is something else you need to know. I have just released a powerful new audiobook titled 7 Habits of Highly Successful People That Can Make You Rich. This is not just another collection of advice. It is a guide designed for those who are ready to align their mindset, discipline, and energy with real, tangible success. If you have been feeling this pull toward growth, toward financial expansion, toward stepping into a higher version of yourself, then this audiobook is not random. It is part of your timing. Many of you are being prepared not just spiritually, but materially, and this is one of the tools that can help you bridge that gap. If you feel called, you can find the link in the description and in the first pinned comment. Trust that if this message resonates, that resource was placed there for a reason. Now understand this. Something powerful has been building beneath the surface of your life. In the quiet spaces you rarely examine, in the moments when you felt uncertain yet strangely guided. But there is also a warning hidden within this shift. A single mistake, subtle and almost invisible, has the power to collapse everything the universe has been arranging for you. The blessings, the breakthroughs, the doors that were about to open, they can all dissolve before they even manifest if you are not aware. If you have been feeling different lately, if your thoughts have become deeper, your solitude more intense, and your intuition sharper than ever before, that is not random. That is preparation. And if something inside you is reacting right now, if your spirit feels stirred, then you already know this message is meant for you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Because what you are about to experience is not just content, it is activation. Most people misunderstand the new moon. They see it as a gentle beginning, a reset button, a moment to write wishes into the universe and wait for magic to unfold. But this new moon is different. It carries a frequency that does not comfort, it reveals. It does not hand out opportunities blindly. It reflects your alignment back to you with precision. This is not a soft beginning. It is a cosmic checkpoint, a moment where the universe does not ask you what you want, but shows you exactly what you have become energetically prepared to receive. And that revelation can either elevate you into the next phase of your destiny or expose the one hidden misalignment that has been quietly delaying everything. This is where many people fall without even realizing it. They expect the new moon to do the work for them, believing intention alone is enough, while still holding on to patterns, fears, and habits that contradict what they desire. That is why June 16th is not dangerous because something negative is happening, but because something true is being uncovered. And truth, when it arrives, does not soften itself to protect comfort. It demands transformation. You need to hear this clearly, chosen one. After June 16th, your manifestations will begin to accelerate, but not in the way most people imagine. This is not about simply receiving what you want. It is about receiving what you are. The universe does not respond to your words alone. It responds to the frequency you carry beneath them. Your energy speaks louder than your intentions, And after this shift, that truth will become undeniable. If there is doubt hidden beneath your affirmations, it will rise to the surface. If fear is quietly sitting underneath your confidence, it will reveal itself. If attachment is disguised as faith, it will begin to unravel. Nothing will remain hidden. And this is where that one thing, the silent disruptor, begins to form its influence. Because it is not external, it is not someone else, and it is not bad luck. It is internal, subtle, and deeply rooted within your habits of thinking and reacting. If you do not recognize it before the shift fully unfolds, it will quietly sabotage everything without making a sound. You won't even realize what happened. You will only feel the absence of what should have been yours. Here is the truth that most people are not ready to face. The one thing that can ruin your miracles is not failure, not timing, and not the actions of others. It is resistance, not the obvious kind, not the kind where you openly reject something, but the subtle resistance that hides within your need to control outcomes. It appears as overthinking, as analyzing every possibility, as trying to predict and manage what has not yet happened. It feels intelligent, even responsible, but in reality, it disrupts the flow of what is already on its way to you. The universe does not respond to control. It responds to trust. And the moment you begin to tighten your grip, the moment you try to force clarity instead of allowing it to unfold, you create friction within your own energy field. Imagine standing at the edge of receiving everything you have asked for, feeling it so close you can almost touch it, and then unknowingly creating a barrier by trying too hard to hold on to it. That is what resistance does. And after June 16th, the energy will be so precise, so responsive, that even the smallest form of resistance will not go unnoticed. It will interrupt the miracle before it can fully arrive. This moment is not ordinary, and that is why it feels different. You are not simply moving through another phase of life. You are standing at a threshold, a dividing line between who you have been and who you are becoming. And thresholds are sensitive because they demand a decision, even if that decision is made unconsciously. There is no lingering here, no remaining in between. You either step forward into the next version of yourself, or you remain anchored in the patterns that have already shown you their limits. The universe is not watching you with judgment. It is responding to you with precision. It is measuring your readiness, your openness, and your willingness to release control. Because what exists on the other side of this shift requires a version of you that is no longer entangled in resistance. If you try to carry your old patterns into this new energy, they will not survive. They will collapse under the intensity of what is trying to enter your life, not as punishment, but as a form of awakening, a necessary breaking of what no longer aligns with where you are being called to go. This is where many chosen ones become stuck without realizing it. Resistance does not present itself as something harmful. It feels like protection. It feels like being cautious, like thinking things through, like guarding yourself against disappointment. It feels like wisdom. But in truth, it is fear disguised as logic. And fear, no matter how subtle, cannot exist in the same space where miracles unfold. The universe does not require you to be flawless. It asks you to be open, to release the constant need to predict outcomes and instead trust the process that is already in motion. Right now, you are closer than you think, closer than you have ever been to the life that has been quietly aligning itself for you. And the only thing standing between you and that reality is this: whether you continue to hold on to control or whether you finally allow yourself to let go. Chosen one, there is always a moment, quiet, almost unnoticeable, where everything you have been calling in stands at the edge of entering your reality. It does not arrive with noise or warning. It does not announce itself with certainty. Instead, it comes disguised as uncertainty, as delay, as silence. And this is the exact moment where many lose everything. Not because it was taken from them, but because they reacted too soon. They questioned what was unfolding. They doubted what they could not yet see. They tried to force movement where stillness was required, and in doing so, they shifted their own energy out of alignment. You must understand this deeply. The final test, before a breakthrough, often looks like nothing is happening. It feels like stagnation. It feels like the universe has gone quiet. But in truth, everything is being positioned with precision. If you break your trust in that moment, if you allow your mind to spiral into doubt, you interrupt the very miracle that was about to arrive. This is the moment you must recognize, the moment you must hold your ground, because it determines everything that follows. There is a reason the silence has been so loud in your life lately, a reason why answers have not come as quickly as you expected, a reason why doors seem paused instead of opened. It is not rejection. It is not abandonment. It is refinement. The universe often removes noise before it delivers clarity. It quiets distractions before it reveals direction. But to the untrained mind, silence feels like rejection. It feels like something is wrong, and that feeling can trigger the exact resistance that blocks what is trying to reach you. Chosen one, you must begin to see silence differently. It is not empty, it is full of movement you cannot yet perceive, full of alignment happening beyond your awareness. The danger is not in the silence itself, but in how you interpret it. If you label it as failure, your energy contracts. If you trust it as preparation, your energy expands. And after June 16th, this distinction becomes critical, because the universe will respond instantly to how you perceive your reality. Your interpretation will shape your outcome faster than ever before. You have said it before, maybe even recently. Nothing is happening. But chosen one, that statement is an illusion created by the limitations of what you can currently see. The universe does not operate on visible progress alone. Some of the most powerful shifts happen in complete invisibility, beneath the surface, beyond the reach of your senses. Seeds do not break through the ground the moment they are planted. There is a period of darkness, of unseen growth, of silent transformation. And you are in that exact phase. But here is where the danger lies. If you believe nothing is happening, you begin to act as if nothing is happening. You lose patience. You change direction. You try to control the process. And in doing so, you disrupt the very growth that was taking place. After June 16th, the energy will amplify whatever you believe. If you believe in delay, you will experience delay. If you trust in alignment, you will move into alignment. This is not about blind faith. It is about understanding that the unseen is just as real as the seen. And right now, more is happening for you than you can possibly imagine. What if I told you that you have already been in the test? That this moment, this phase of uncertainty, this emotional intensity you cannot fully explain, is the test, not something coming in the future, not something you need to prepare for, but something you are already living through. The universe does not always announce its tests. It places you within them and observes how you respond. Do you react from fear, or do you move from trust? Do you try to control, or do you allow? Do you collapse into doubt, or do you stand in your knowing, even when there is no evidence? This is what is being measured right now. And after June 16th, the results of this test will begin to reveal themselves in your reality, not as judgment, but as reflection. You will see clearly what your energy has been aligned with. And for many, this realization will be shocking, not because the universe is unfair, but because they did not realize they were being tested all along. But you are aware now, and awareness changes everything. There was a time when overthinking simply slowed you down. It delayed decisions, created confusion, made things feel heavier than they needed to be. But now, in this heightened energy, overthinking becomes something far more dangerous. It becomes distortion, because the more you analyze, the more you disconnect from your intuition. The more you try to mentally solve what is meant to be energetically aligned, the further you move away from clarity. Chosen one, your mind is not designed to control the universe. It is designed to interpret your experience. And when you place it in a position of control, it begins to create problems that do not exist. After June 16th, this will accelerate. Thoughts will manifest faster. Doubts will echo louder. And if you are not grounded in your inner knowing, you will find yourself trapped in cycles of confusion that feel impossible to break. This is why you must learn to quiet the mind, not by force, but by trust. Trust that what is meant for you does not require constant analysis. It requires alignment. There is a shift available to you right now, and it is not dramatic. It is not loud. It is subtle, almost invisible. But it changes everything. It is the shift from forcing to allowing, from questioning to trusting, from controlling to surrendering. This is the moment where you stop chasing clarity and begin to embody it, where you stop asking when and begin to live as if it is already unfolding. This is not delusion. It is alignment. Because when you align your energy with what you desire, you remove the resistance that keeps it at a distance. After June 16th, this shift becomes the difference between those who receive and those who remain waiting. It is not about doing more. It is about being different. And that difference begins within you, in the quiet decision to release what you cannot control and trust what you cannot yet see. This is where your power returns. This is where your path becomes clear. And this is where everything begins to change. Chosen one, after June 16th, something within your reality will become impossible to ignore. It will not arrive as chaos, but as clarity so sharp that it cuts through every illusion you have been holding on to. The energy will intensify in a way that exposes everything: your habits, your emotional patterns, your attachments, your hidden fears. What once stayed buried beneath distraction will rise to the surface, not to overwhelm you, but to be seen. This is the nature of true transformation. It does not hide what needs to be released. It reveals it. And this revelation will feel uncomfortable for those who are not ready, because truth does not negotiate with denial. But for you, this is activation. This is the moment where you begin to see yourself without distortion, where you recognize the exact places within you that have been quietly holding you back. And once you see them clearly, you can no longer pretend they are not there. This is why this shift is so powerful, because awareness, once awakened, cannot be reversed. You are not going backward after this. You are moving forward, whether slowly or rapidly, but forward nonetheless. As this clarity rises, something else will happen. Your old patterns will attempt to return with greater intensity. Not because you are failing, and not because you are regressing, but because you are on the edge of outgrowing them. Patterns do not disappear quietly. They resist being released. They will try to convince you that they are still necessary, still relevant, still part of who you are. You may feel familiar thoughts creeping back in, old emotional triggers resurfacing, habits that you believed you had already moved beyond suddenly reappearing. This is not a sign to give in. It is a sign to rise above. Chosen one, this is the final echo of what no longer belongs in your life. And the universe is watching closely, not to judge you, but to see if you will choose differently this time. Because every time you respond in a new way, you break the cycle. Every time you refuse to fall back into what is comfortable but limiting, you step further into your alignment. This is the moment where your growth becomes real. Not in theory, not in intention, but in action. There is a tension you may already feel, a subtle but persistent pull between two versions of yourself. One is familiar, shaped by your past, your experiences, your fears, and your learned responses. The other is emerging, not fully formed yet, but powerful, expansive, and aligned with something greater than what you have known before. This tension is not a problem. It is a transition. It is the space where identity begins to shift. But this space can feel uncomfortable, even disorienting, because you are no longer fully connected to who you were. Yet you have not completely stepped into who you are becoming. This is where many people retreat, choosing the comfort of the known over the uncertainty of growth. But you cannot go back. Not truly. You have seen too much. You have felt too much. Something inside you has already changed. And after June 16th, this pull will intensify, forcing a decision. Will you move forward into the unknown, trusting that it holds something greater? Or will you try to recreate the past, knowing it no longer fits who you are? This is the question that will define your path. For a long time, control may have felt like your safety. Planning everything, anticipating outcomes, preparing for every possibility. It gave you a sense of stability in an unpredictable world. But now, that illusion is beginning to break. Not because control is inherently wrong, but because it is no longer serving your growth. The more you try to control what is unfolding now, the more resistance you create within yourself. And that resistance blocks the natural flow of alignment. Chosen one, what is meant for you does not require force. It does not need to be chased or manipulated into existence. It arrives through alignment, through openness, through trust. After June 16th, this truth will become undeniable. You will see clearly where you have been holding too tightly, where you have been trying to manage outcomes that were never yours to control. And you will be given a choice to continue gripping on to what feels safe, or to release it and step into a flow that is far more powerful than anything you could orchestrate on your own. There is a portal opening, chosen one, not a physical doorway, but an energetic threshold that demands a decision. And unlike the choices you have faced before, this one cannot be delayed. It cannot be ignored. It cannot be postponed for a more convenient time. This decision is not about external circumstances. It is about your internal alignment. It is about who you choose to be when faced with uncertainty, when faced with the unknown, when faced with the opportunity to either trust or retreat. The portal does not judge you, but it does respond to you instantly. If you step forward with trust, it opens. If you hesitate in fear, it remains closed, not as punishment, but as reflection. After June 16th, this portal becomes active in your life. You will feel it in your choices, in your reactions, in the subtle moments where you know exactly what you should do, yet feel the pull to do otherwise. These moments are not random. They are invitations, and how you respond will determine what unfolds next in your reality. Amid all of this intensity, something else is awakening within you. Something quiet, yet powerful. Your inner knowing. The voice that does not shout, does not panic, does not rush. The voice that simply knows. You have felt it before, in moments of clarity that came without explanation, in instincts that guided you correctly even when logic disagreed. But now, this inner knowing is becoming stronger, more consistent, more impossible to ignore. After June 16th, it will begin to guide you in ways that feel almost effortless if you are willing to listen. This is not intuition, as you once understood it. It is alignment speaking through you. And the more you trust it, the clearer it becomes. The challenge is that it will not always align with your fears, your habits, or your desire for control. It will ask you to move in ways that feel uncertain, but deeply right. And this is where your transformation accelerates. Because when you begin to follow this inner knowing without hesitation, without resistance, you step fully into the path that was meant for you all along. Chosen one, there is something you must not misinterpret in the days following June 16th. There may be moments where things seem to fall apart, where plans shift unexpectedly, where connections feel strained, or where emotions rise without warning. But understand this clearly: this is not destruction, it is restructuring. The universe does not deliver breakthroughs on unstable foundations. It first removes what cannot sustain what is coming. And that removal can feel like loss if you are still attached to what is leaving. This is why so many misread their own transformation. They see collapse and assume failure, when in truth, it is preparation. The breakdown you fear is often the breakthrough you've been asking for, just in a form you did not expect. And if you resist it, if you try to hold together what is already dissolving, you delay what is meant to replace it. But if you allow it, if you trust that what is falling away is making space for something greater, you move through this phase with power instead of fear. This is the moment where perception becomes everything. What you call an ending may actually be your beginning. Timing, chosen one, is not just about when things happen, it is about when you respond. One of the greatest mistakes you can make in this energy is reacting too soon, acting from emotion before clarity arrives, making decisions from discomfort instead of alignment. Because not everything that feels urgent is meant to be acted upon. Some things are meant to be observed, felt, and understood before you move. After June 16th, the energy will intensify your emotional awareness, bringing things to the surface quickly. And while this may feel overwhelming at times, it is actually giving you a powerful advantage: the ability to see clearly before you act. But if you ignore this, if you allow yourself to react impulsively, you create consequences that could have been avoided. Chosen one, your power lies not just in what you do, but in when you do it. Patience is not passivity, it is precision. And in this phase, precision is everything. There will be moments where everything feels urgent, where your mind convinces you that you must decide now, act now, fix now. This is the illusion that has kept you trapped in cycles before. Urgency is often not truth. It is fear trying to regain control. It pushes you to act before you are ready, to choose before you are clear, to move before you are aligned. But the universe does not operate in panic. It operates in timing. And what is truly meant for you will not require rushed decisions driven by anxiety. After June 16th, you will need to become deeply aware of this pattern. You will need to pause when everything inside you says, "Move now," because that pause creates space for clarity. That pause allows your inner knowing to rise above the noise of fear. Chosen one, not everything that feels immediate is important, and not everything important feels immediate. Learning the difference will protect your alignment in ways you cannot yet fully understand. When everything around you feels like it is shifting, when emotions rise and circumstances feel uncertain, there is one place where your power remains untouched: stillness. Not the kind of stillness that avoids reality, but the kind that observes it without becoming consumed by it. This is where your clarity lives. This is where your intuition becomes undeniable. And this is where you reconnect with your true alignment. After June 16th, stillness will become your anchor. Because the external world may not always reflect the internal shifts you are going through. There may be moments of confusion, of waiting, of not knowing what comes next. But within that space, stillness allows you to remain grounded. It prevents you from reacting out of fear. It keeps you connected to your higher awareness. Chosen one, you do not need to control the chaos. You need to remain centered within it, because when you do, the chaos loses its power over you. Discomfort is something most people try to avoid, something they interpret as a sign that something is wrong. But in this phase, discomfort is not your enemy. It is your guide. It is showing you exactly where growth is required, exactly where old patterns are being challenged, exactly where transformation is taking place. After June 16th, discomfort will become more noticeable, not because things are getting worse, but because your awareness is increasing. You will feel things more deeply, see things more clearly, and recognize misalignment faster than before. And while this may feel intense, it is also a gift, because once you see what is not aligned, you have the power to change it. The danger is not in discomfort itself, but in resisting it. When you resist discomfort, you resist growth. But when you move through it with awareness, you evolve beyond what once limited you. Chosen one, what feels uncomfortable now is often the doorway to what you have been asking for. There will come a moment, and you will recognize it when it arrives. A moment where you are faced with a familiar choice. Respond the way you always have, or choose differently. This moment will not feel dramatic. It will not announce itself as life-changing. It will feel small, almost insignificant. But it is not, because in that moment, you are deciding which version of yourself continues forward. After June 16th, these moments will become more frequent, and each time you choose alignment over habit, you strengthen your connection to your higher path. You break patterns that have been repeating for years. You step further into the reality that has been waiting for you. But if you choose habit, if you fall back into what is comfortable but limiting, you delay that reality once again. Chosen one, transformation is not built in grand gestures. It is built in these small, consistent decisions. And this is where your true power lies, not in what you say you want, but in what you choose when it matters most. Chosen one, by now, you can feel it. Something within you is reaching its limit. Not your strength, not your ability, but your tolerance for the old version of yourself. There is a final layer of resistance still holding on, subtle yet persistent, whispering doubts, pulling you toward familiar patterns, trying to convince you that it is safer to remain where you are. But this layer cannot move forward with you. It must break, and the breaking will not feel comfortable. It will feel like letting go of something you once depended on, something that once defined you. But understand this truth. It only feels like loss because you have not yet fully seen what is replacing it. After June 16th, this final layer will be tested. You will feel the urge to retreat, to question, to hold back. But this is your moment. The moment where you either release the last piece of resistance or allow it to keep you where you've already outgrown. And deep down, you already know you are not meant to stay here. There is a reality, chosen one, that has been forming around you for longer than you realize. It has been waiting, not for the right time, but for the right version of you. A version that no longer doubts its worth. A version that no longer chases what is already aligned. A version that trusts without needing constant proof. This reality is not distant, it is close. Closer than it has ever been. But it exists on a frequency that cannot be forced. It must be matched. And that is why everything you have been experiencing has been preparing you for this moment. Every delay, every challenge, every period of silence, it was shaping you into someone who could hold what is coming without losing it. After June 16th, this reality begins to reveal itself more clearly, not all at once, but in glimpses, in shifts, in undeniable moments of alignment. And when you see it, you will recognize it instantly, because it will feel like something you've always known, finally becoming real. Not everyone will move forward after this shift. This is a truth many avoid, but it must be said. There will be a separation, not based on worth, not based on effort, but based on alignment. Some will continue waiting, repeating the same patterns, reacting from fear, holding on to control. And others will receive. They will move differently. They will trust where others doubt. They will remain still where others panic. And because of that, they will align with what is already trying to reach them. Chosen one, this is not about being better than anyone else. It is about being ready. And readiness is not proven through words. It is shown through energy, through decisions, through the willingness to release what no longer serves you. After June 16th, this separation will become visible. You will see it in your own life, in the way things unfold, in the way opportunities appear or disappear. And in that moment, you will understand. This was never about luck. It was always about alignment. Everything around you is about to become a mirror, clearer than ever before. The people you encounter, the situations you experience, the emotions that rise, they will all reflect something within you, not to blame you, not to burden you, but to reveal you. After June 16th, this mirror effect will intensify. If you are aligned, you will see confirmation everywhere. If you are resisting, you will see friction. And this is where many become confused, because they try to change the reflection without changing what is being reflected. But you are aware now. You understand that what you experience externally is connected to what you carry internally. This awareness gives you power, because instead of reacting to what you see, you can shift what you embody. And when you do that, the reflection changes naturally. Chosen one, the world is not happening to you. It is responding to you. And after this shift, that response will become immediate. Something has already been activated within you. Just by hearing this, a level of awareness that cannot be undone. You cannot go back to not knowing. You cannot return to unconscious patterns without feeling the weight of misalignment. This is what it means to awaken. It is not always comfortable. It does not always feel peaceful, but it is powerful. Because once you are aware, you have the ability to choose differently. And after June 16th, this activation will deepen. You will notice things you didn't before. You will feel misalignment faster. You will recognize truth more clearly. And while this may feel intense at times, it is also your greatest advantage, because you are no longer moving blindly. You are moving with awareness. And awareness, when followed by aligned action, becomes transformation. This is not something you can undo. This is something you can only move through. Even if you cannot see it fully yet, even if parts of your life still feel uncertain, the path ahead of you is already opening. Not in a way that reveals everything at once, but in a way that gives you exactly what you need, step by step. This is how true alignment works. It does not overwhelm you with the entire journey. It guides you through the next step, and then the next, and then the next. After June 16th, you will begin to notice this more clearly. Synchronicities will increase. Opportunities will appear at the right moment. Decisions that once felt confusing will become obvious, but only if you are paying attention. Only if you are present. Chosen one, the path is not something you have to force into existence. It is something you step into by remaining aligned with yourself. And the more you trust it, the more it reveals itself to you. There will be a moment, and it will come when you least expect it, where everything begins to make sense. Not logically, not in a way you can fully explain, but in a deep, undeniable knowing. The confusion, the waiting, the challenges, it will all connect. You will see why things didn't happen when you wanted them to. You will understand why certain paths closed while others remained uncertain. And in that moment, everything will lock into place. This is not the end of your journey. It is the confirmation that you are on the right one. After June 16th, this moment becomes closer, but it is not something you can force. It arrives when your alignment is steady, when your resistance has dissolved, when you are no longer chasing answers, but embodying them. And when it happens, you will not question it. You will feel it, completely, undeniably, as if the universe itself is saying, "This is it. Chosen one, hear this clearly. You were never meant to miss what is for you. Not truly. What is aligned with your highest path cannot pass you by. It can only be delayed by resistance. And now you are aware of that resistance. You see it. You understand it. Which means you have the power to release it. This is not about becoming someone else. It is about returning to who you already are, beneath the fear, beneath the doubt, beneath the need to control. After June 16th, everything will begin to reflect that truth back to you. And if you trust it, if you allow it, if you step forward without holding on to what is behind you, you will not miss your moment. Because it was never separate from you. It has always been waiting for you to align with it. And now, you are closer than ever. If you felt this message, if something within you shifted even slightly while listening, then you already know this was not random. This was meant for you. This was your confirmation, your activation, your reminder of what is unfolding in your life right now. The new moon on June 16th is not just a date, it is a turning point. And what you do with this awareness will shape everything that follows. This is where many hear, but only a few act. And you already know which one you are meant to be. And as you step into this next phase, Understand this. Spiritual alignment alone is powerful, but when it is combined with disciplined action and the right mindset, it becomes unstoppable. That is exactly why I created my audiobook, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People That Can Make You Rich. This is not surface-level motivation. It is a deeper blueprint for those who are ready to move beyond waiting and begin building real success in their lives. If this message awakens something in you, then that audiobook is the next step in your journey. It is designed for chosen ones who are ready not just to align spiritually, but to elevate financially, mentally, and practically. If you feel that pull, don't ignore it. Trust it. You can find the link in the description and in the first pinned comment. Everything is placed in your path for a reason, and this may be one of those moments where a single decision shifts your entire trajectory. So don't just listen. Act. Stay aware. Stay aligned. Stay open. Like this video, comment, "I choose alignment," and subscribe to this channel if you are ready to continue this journey. Because this is not the end. It is the beginning of something far greater. And chosen one, the universe is already responding.